Things have been pretty good for Northland farmers until this week, with the wet biting a bit and slowing grass growth. Some farmers are right on the edge, though most are feeling okay about winter feed levels. It was a kind autumn with lots of silage cut, so finding supplementary feed shouldn't be hard. The stock agent says the craziness of moving day, when dairy farmers might move properties for the new season, has already started, with trucks busy getting organised. Farmers are feeling the best in a long while. The industry's in a bright spot, with record prices and interest rates dropping. In Pukekohe, crop growth has been steady, with adequate rainfall and mild weather. Some products are still proving marginal, though a small ray of light has been the export of some onions to Indonesia.
Waikato has made the most remarkable recovery this month. Pasture growth has been exceptional, so most farmers are feeling secure heading into winter. It's been a record year for dairy farmers, despite the drought, which made for an expensive summer. But with the production to back it up, prices for sheep and beef have also strengthened, so the mood is positive. In Bay of Plenty, the rain is causing frustrations by holding up the green kiwifruit harvest. There are still a few blocks of gold being picked too. With fruit left on the vines while waiting for the rain to clear, rejection rates might increase. Though gold rejection rates were so low, it's still expected to be a good season. Some growers have reported their best yields yet.
Taranaki dairy farmers are also busy readying for moving day. May brought good warm weather and adequate moisture, leading to good pasture growth and cow condition. Most farmers are just happy to see the back of the drought. Despite a few cold days, it's been a rare month without snow on the mountain. Cash flow will be a bit tight the next few months for those who dried off in April. With no income until after July, there'll be an overdraft over the winter months. Grass is still growing in East Coast Te Tairāwhiti, and stock is going well. Our Contax woodshed hasn't been hammered yet, as there's been plenty of warm days. Bull sales have been going well, with crazy prices, in line with record cattle prices. One stud was up $3,000 on last year's average. Big Black Angus and Simmentals are especially popular with buyers. Kiwi fruit and citrus crops have been going well, while maize started badly but also ended up well. It's been little by little when it comes to interest rates dropping, even with the recent OCR cut, but the mood is generally good.
Rainfall's been variable in Hawke's Bay. A farmer near Bridge Pa says he's only had 18 millimetres and things are drying up. It's still warm, but more moisture is needed to help grass along and assist farmers in banking up feed before true winter starts. The apple harvest is wrapped up, squash is off, and maize is starting to come in. The dry autumn has been good for harvest, though yields are back a bit. Competition from cheaper imports is a challenge for cereal and arable farmers. Our contact says the new tax incentive will help. Our Manawatu Rangatike contact says the last fortnight was bloody phenomenal. The sun's been out with just enough rain and only the odd frost. Most farmers are growing 50% more feed than expected, making them well set up for winter. He says conditions are so good, maize is being left to dry in the paddock, which is helping increase returns for croppers. They don't need the expense of dryers. Some dairy farmers are still milking, and one farmer was up 150% compared to May last year.
It's a similar story further south in Wairarapa, where most farmers are having a great run. There's been a bit more rain this month, but it's made for good growing conditions. Demand for beef and lamb is still strong, and the mood is increasingly positive. May started off cool and wet for Horowhenua growers, with more than 100 millimetres of rain this week. A light frost still hasn't impacted crops, and a grower is surprised to still be cutting zucchini. Just a handful, but he says it shows how temperate it's been until now. The ground is still too wet to cultivate, which will leave some gaps in the next rotation. Next to come is cabbage, broccoli, and other winter greens. Demand is still soft, though it's helping growers put black ink on the books instead of red.
A farmer in Golden Bay has just sent his herd off to winter pasture. He's looking forward to a slower pace without the routine of milking. May was a great month for growing grass after a dry April, and the cows went off causing little pugging damage, leaving behind good cover. He's had good mating results, only 7% of the herd is empty. Now there's time to do some maintenance and have a bit of a break. He's got to build a race for artificial insemination work, as new safety rules mean that can't be done in the herringbone shed. In Marlborough, there's been a massive turnaround in conditions, and the hill country's looking terrific. Warm norwesterly conditions mean grass is still growing, helped along by 180 millimetres of rain over the past few weeks. A sheep and beef farmer told us his herd's pregnancy rate is sitting around 95%. Scanning of mixed-aged ewes has started with reasonable early results. Sheep meat prices are described as unbelievable, and good fine wool prices mean his merino herd won't be shrinking, that's for sure. For many, good returns will go into paying off the overdraft rather than investment after a tough few years. The snips are out as pruning gets underway in vineyards.
May has been one out of the box in mid-Canterbury, with mild weather and only a handful of frosts. This has resulted in grass growth well above the norm for this time of year. All pastoral farmers are happy, with plenty of feed and good demand for stock, which is pushing prices up. There's been a slight increase in pricing for arable crops, but the consensus seems to be too little, too late. And many are exploring other farming options at present. Farmers on the west coast are feeling a little bit chirpier now after the earlier dry, with another good dollop of rain this week. The grass has been growing at a good rate, and dairy prices have people smiling. Our contact had dried his cows off for the season and was heading out to an evening meal with guest speakers put on by local companies and the West Coast Rural Support Trust. The event has the great name of Swinging Udders 2025. He was looking forward to tucker and talk with other locals.
It's been magic the last 3 months for a Central Otago sheep and beef farmer, with 30 to 40 millimetres of rain this month. It'd be nice to see the ground firmed up a bit for those bringing in dairy grazers over the winter. There's feed like you wouldn't imagine. Making lucerne baleage at this time of year is pretty unheard of. It'll soon be time to transition stock onto green feed crops. $1,200 to $1,400 a calf and good lamb prices. It really is magical, our contact said. They just need crossbred wool to come right. A Southland farmer says he's seeing a decent amount of feed around, completely different to last year. 3 neighbouring sheep, beef and deer farms, held for several generations, have been sold into forestry, and he's concerned at the impact the trend will have on rural communities and food production.